Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the famous Birdland Jazz Club here in the heart of the theater district here in New York City. Tonight here on the Pace Report, I'm honored to introduce you to a young lady who hails from Washington, D.C. And over the last 5 or 6 years, this young lady not only has studied with the greats ranging from the great Cyrus Chestnut at Howard University to the legendary Wynton Marsalis at Juilliard here in New York City. Tonight, Ekep Nkwelle performs with her quartet, and she's not only making a very important dent in her generation musically, but she's also carrying the rich tradition of her elders moving forward. Tonight you're going to see highlights of her performing music from her upcoming record. We had a chance to sit down and break bread and reflect on some of her musical influences, as well as sit down and talk about how the learning process of the music compares and differentiates from the band stage. Also talk about her origins growing up in Washington, D.C. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Ms. Ekep Nkwelle performing live here at Birdland Theater, here on the Pace Report, here in New York City.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows fall? Why should my heart feel lonely? For heaven and home. When Jesus is my portion, constant praise His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. So I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches
I think musically, you have said some things
Yes.
that need to be said. I think there's a spiritual content
Yeah.
of our music that's not there anymore.
Mm.
There's an intellectual aspect of our culture that's not gravitating to spirituality. And I think that it's very important what you're doing in your show. You take time to acknowledge God.
Yeah.
You take time to acknowledge the elders in the village. How important is that to what you're doing?
I think it's extremely important. In my culture, in Cameroon, because I have two cultures, but in my Cameroonian culture, your relationship with your elders is one that it could be seen as a pro or as a con, but is to be handled with fear and trembling and with the utmost reverence. And in everything that you do, one thing about Cameroonians, like a side note, and really West Africans in general, is they're very big on accolades. And so honoring people is a big part of our culture. So every time that I am singing a song that like something like Skylark, just even mentioning Aretha Franklin is honoring her. Or if I do Betty Carter's arrangement, it's important for me to mention that this was her arrangement. Yes, I added my own stuff to it, but I have to give honor to whom honor is due. And that goes for both God and the vessels that he used to share this music with us. So yeah, it's extremely important to me. It's a big part of what I do.
Miriam Makeba, God rest her soul,
Yes.
was very in tune to her ethnicity and her background. Have you thought about bringing some of your Cameroonian roots to the music that you're doing?
Yes, there was actually at the beginning when I started performing in 2023, I was doing an original composition which comes from a Douala folk song. Douala is in Cameroon, and the song is entitled Yondo Selele. And I just basically kind of expanded it and made it a bigger composition. And I was performing that as well as my arrangement of Max Roach and Oscar Brown Jr.'s All Africa. There was a couple other songs that I was doing that were just more, Afrocentric or very overtly African. And I still do them here and there today, but for reasons that will go unsaid, I've kind of put a pause on that temporarily, but that is who I am, and so you can't silence me for too long.
And you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. Sister Miriam was all about, and Harry Belafonte,
Yes.
and so I could give you some Abby.
Yes.
I mean, there were some people that were vocal about the art, and they were vocal about where they stood,
Yes.
Do you find that musicians in your generation are silent, or are they where are they straddling both sides? How are they dealing with the art and the music right now?
Mm. Musicians my age, I don't. I do feel like I've been saying this to a couple people. I don't know. I feel like we are in a renaissance where we do have this uprising of musicians that are talking about things that are going on in their community, whether it be atrocities, whether it be joys, things to celebrate. I know his name has been spoken so many times, Emmanuel Wilkins. I feel like he's talking about some of the atrocities that we see, whether it be in our past or in our present, or things we have to look out for that could be our future if we continue to go down this path. Tyreek McDowell, whom you interviewed, he is somebody that I believe he has his head on straight, and he's searching for, okay, what is the need? What is the voice, the cries of my community? What do they need to hear? And he's programming music that I believe speak for the community that we're in, specifically in New York City. Who else would I even say? I really don't even have to like continue naming names, but I do feel like we are in a renaissance where we are beginning to see people coming up.
I had a long conversation with Julius after
Yes.
your set, and Julius said he wants to do, the trio record. He wants to do a record of dance, and I said, Julius, do the dance record, because you go to clubs in New York now, they're not dancing anymore.
We were just talking, me and Leonie were just talking about this.
There's no one
Yeah.
dancing anymore.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I came up with the golden age of hip hop. There was a group called Goody Mob. And there's a song there's a song called They Don't Dance No More. And that song, if you play it now, 30 years later, it's very relevant. It's like you go to a club now, they're doing a hookah, and I'm like, what is
DC?
this is it's everywhere. It's like, and I told Julie, I said, oh, in Europe they dancing.
Yeah,
They sweating. They sweating till like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning.
I was just in Italy. Oh my gosh, we danced for like hours
See,
and hours and hours.
In American culture, we have, and this is sad. We've done everything we've done. We've done the political system. We've done the religious, the religious.
Yes.
The spiritual. We've done academics.
Yes.
We've done
Oof.
everything, and it's like, when I see you and I see Tyreek, I see Julius, I see there's a fusion of, we have to carry this ball, we got to move with it with an urgency with that.
Yeah.
Is there urgency with this?
Absolutely. That's why I would say I mandate more of my live performance, because I get to like, okay, go here, there, and be able to give this message in a real context. I feel like when you're listening to records and everything, you kind of get to interpret things how you want to, but when I'm standing on that stage, okay, I'm singing Blackness right now, and this is what this means. And you get to see a real human being standing in front of you, and you don't get to just shun her away. You don't get to just turn the message off. No, you're right there. And so for me, like, there absolutely is an urgency with this message, whether it be of peace and love, like spoken in Timeless Portraits and Dreams by Jerry Allen, or whether it be of like, okay, I'm gonna be courageous about my Blackness, regardless of the shame or the lies that have been told to me. Like, this is in your face who I am. And that's why I ended up adapting what was originally Nina Simone's Four Women, and being like, we don't need any metaphors, we don't need any symbolism. That has its place, and that song is timeless. But right now, we need people to understand, like, I'm Black and I'm proud.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me there a meadow in the mist with someone waiting to be kissed? Starlight, have you seen your valley in spring, where my heart can go a journey? Over the shadows and the rain, to a blossom covered lane. In your lonely sky, the music in my life, wonderful music, faint as a will-o'-the-wisp, crazy as a loon, sad as a gypsy serenading. Starlight, I don't know if you can find these things, but my heart is riding on your wings. So if you see them anywhere,
You know, I want to talk about DC, Roberta Flack,
Yeah.
Shirley Horn,
Yes.
Duke
Duke Ellington.
Ellington, yeah, Mark Carey,
Mark Carey, yeah. Bruce Williams.
well, God, yeah, Bruce, he'll kill me if I didn't bring him up. He would kill me if I did not bring him up.
I got you, Bruce.
Bruce, a conversation with Bruce and I are long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
And I say DC is another interesting spot because black folk in that area, DMV,
Yeah.
they're very educated and they're very astute when it comes to keeping this music alive.
Yeah.
How do you attribute that?
I would say, so I was born in DC, of course. We lived on Georgia Ave. Then we moved a few years later to PG County, Maryland. And if you know the history of PG County, Maryland, for a time, you know, after the pandemic, things changed. But for a good chunk of time, we were well known factually as the wealthiest black county in the United States. And so my dentist was black, my doctor was black, my teachers were black, my mailman was black. Just, you see black people in all positions. So it's not just blue collar, it's white. It's like every gap is filled with black excellence, truthfully, and black truth. Because not everything, sometimes things aren't excellent, but it's the truth. This is the reality of all the things that we can be at our highest and at our lowest. And so I was able to have a panoramic view of just like black people in all our many shapes, forms, and facets. And I believe that is why I'm able to, I'm getting emotional. That's why I'm able to carry the tradition of this music in this way, because I was being taught not just the music, but the history. And I was seeing the history. I was hearing the history, I was living the present, and I was imagining the future because I was truthfully like in this beautiful cocoon. And so when I was able to come to New York, and as you know, that's when my career began to form. I had this long, 21 years of being immersed in that kind of environment. I wasn't, many people come to New York at a young age and they're phased and they're shaken, but I was so blessed to be living in the DMV and to be inspired by that rich and solid community and foundation. So when I came to New York, it was like I was unshaken.
The village. It's a village.
Yep.
It's a huge village. And your village, I look at the people that you've been mentored by. Cyrus, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul.
Yes, yes.
Spiritual.
Yes.
Very spiritual. Very, very educated, and he is a professor.
Yes.
You look at him. He's a professor. Yes. You look at him,
Yeah.
Him, and then you also had the great Russell Malone, who we're going to talk about. And then you get to Juilliard, and you got Wynton Marsalis. And what are some of the things those men have instilled in you as a musician and as a person?
I would definitely say, in the words of Wynton Marsalis, he says many words. He always has like something that sticks with you. They taught me how to handle my business. Handle your business. And that's on and off the stage. I think how I handle my business before I step on stage, it manifests while I'm on stage. So whether it be making sure I'm reaching out to my musicians in a timely manner, whether it be making sure I'm informed on what's going on in the media, that helps me to be able to communicate to my audience. So if I'm completely shut off, I'm not able to be sensitive and be vigilant in the spirit to my environment and to what my audience needs. That's handling my business. Making sure, as a vocalist, when it's time to shut up, you shut up, girl, so that you can get on stage. Just handling my business. It's not just about the notes. Truthfully, like that's a great thing to have together, but it's really not just about the notes. I think that it's your character and how you handle your business off stage that really solidifies your place in every room that you go into. So.
Across this line, you leave us with nothing. So you see the mystery, can we talk? I need you to walk. Something wrong with your plan. I'll stay right where I am. Across this line, my people were living for a whole lot longer than we want here. And from what we can tell, it was this whisper. Forgive me for saying that I'm about to learn. Before you can say we got to live.
And more.
Dee Dee Bridgewater.
Yes.
Dee Dee supported me when I first started this many eons ago, and any artist that she's working with, I make sure that they get the exposure. One, because she's the elder, and she's the one that is not only grooming and exposing the next generation, but she wants to make sure that the next generation, like you said, handle your business earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me about Dee Dee's mentoring program. Tell me how you met her, and tell me some of the things that she's instilling upon you as a musician and as a person.
So I first met Mama Dee Dee. I first met her. I was at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I'm in DC. That was the high school I went to. And maybe it was my senior year, and it was like a jazz combo that met at 6th period, and we were supposed to perform at the International Jazz Day. It was just like one of the programs that was going to happen. And so she came through and she was a guest, and Herbie Hancock was another guest. But of course he didn't come beforehand to rehearse with the students, but Mama Dee Dee did. And after she did her rehearsal, she walked up to me and she said, "Do you want to sing It Don't Mean a Thing with me?" I looked at her with fear and trembling and I said, "No." And she said, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't pull myself to sing the song with her. I believe there was a mixture of things going on there, but I think one that was obvious was just the fear. Like, she was a figure that I had learned about when I was coming to the knowledge of jazz music and just Black American music in general, because she surpasses just the realm of jazz, because she is a Tony Award winning artist.
Yes, she is.
So I was just like, man, I just can't even stand on stage with this woman. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I don't even remember what she said to me, but I left there not even really feeling ashamed of myself. I left that moment feeling loved, because it was her just asking me, like, "Are you sure?" And her even asking me, let's go back, her even asking me, "Do you want to sing this song with me?" I remember I did, where was I? In Houston, Jazz Houston. I did a Sarah Vaughan tribute with Diane Reeves, and she asked me to come out on stage. And Belinda Gardner, who is one of the founders of Jazz Houston, she said, "Do you know how rare that is? That women of that caliber ask a young, aspiring vocalist, ask anyone younger than them to come and share their spotlight with them. Don't take those relationships for granted." And so Mama Dee Dee, I'm trying so hard not to get emotional. That is who she is. She is not afraid to share her spotlight, because she knows it doesn't take anything away from her. Her light is so, so bright. What does she lose by just giving a little bit to the people who are coming behind her, inspired by that? Makes her light even brighter, because we carry on that legacy, and it takes us right back to that beginning conversation of continuing on that legacy of your elders. But how are you able to do that if they don't give you the space to be able to be around them, to learn from them, to speak life into you, to continue on that kind of a legacy? And so when I, years later, was a part of the Woodshed Network program, I told her this, and Tulani, her daughter, who co-runs it with her, I said, I learned more from this 2-week program, sorry Juilliard, than I learned in the 2 years of jazz business that I took at Juilliard.
Because Dee Dee's real. Dee Dee's real.
No, and it doesn't take any away from Juilliard's program, but it only goes to say that what she was speaking into me was what I needed to take that next step in my career. Not just as a musician, but also as a woman. She was saying some real things that I needed to know about what this industry is like for young Black women. And so I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me, but I believe that I am all the wiser from just being able to have access to somebody as profound and as magnificent as Dee Dee Bridgewater.
Ekep Nkwelle, what does jazz music mean to you?
Jazz music. People often ask similar questions to that. It's always I feel like for me, not even to be cliche, but it has been simply a medium for freedom. I haven't seen it as freedom, just coming at from a spiritual standpoint, because I know to whom gives me that. But it has been a medium in which God has been able to enact that blessing or that gift of freedom for me with my gift of voice that He's given me. I think I'm getting teary. I was misunderstanding this medium at the beginning because of the perfection that I spoke to you about. But it was when I tapped into artists like Nina Simone, who many could subjectively say she was a jazz musician, or she was a folk musician, or a classical musician. All of these things are subjective. Same thing with Abby Lincoln. Towards the end of her life, you could say that she was a folk musician.
Roberta Flack at the beginning of her career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like when I began to tap into these artists who, though at one point they honored the lineage or the music in one way, in the more traditional way, when I was able to tap into their later works when they began to get more free and see this music as a medium of freedom, to be able to see the tools that this music gives you as a medium for freedom to inform the other things that they later on went to do, that's when I realized that's what jazz means to me. Like a medium for me to express myself freely.
Better do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here in Birdland, here in the heart of the theater district here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Ekep Nkwelle for her time. Make sure you support her upcoming CD as well as her club dates. For more information, follow her on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as go to her website, ekepnkwelle.com. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at Birdland for their warm hospitality. People, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo and leave comments. Also, follow me on social media by way of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.
Across this line, you leave us with nothing. So you see the mystery, come and talk. I need to walk.